Okay, so in the last video, we have discussed about the structure of the human body and the components or the organs which were involved in the urinary system. Alright, so now we are going to discuss about what urinary system is. So let me use the marker. Alright, so what is basically urinary system? Alright, it is an excretory process. Excretory process or system. Alright, it is an excretory system. Now, right, what is excretion? Excretion is the removal of metabolic waste from the body. Alright, so as we know that metabolism is happening in our body. Let me write it down. Wait. Alright, so we know that metabolism is happening in our body. And what is metabolism actually? Metabolism is the sum total of all the chemical reactions. We know that chemical reactions are happening in our body. So sum total of all those chemical reactions is what we call the metabolism. Alright. So let me write the definition here of the metabolism. What's the definition of metabolism? It's a sum total of all chemical reactions. Alright. It is a sum total of all chemical reactions, because we know that all the chemical reactions are happening in our body. Like we have a respiratory system, we have photosynthesis which is happening in the plants. In our human body, a respiratory system is happening. Then we have circulatory system. So all those processes are chemical processes. All right, so sum total of all those processes which are happening in an organism is what we call the metabolism. All right, now we have two type of metabolism. First one is anabolic reactions and the second one is catabolic. All right, so now let me use another color so that I can tell you anabolic and catabolic. All right. Okay, so as we know that we do have two types of metabolisms. We do have two types. All right, so the first one we do have, that is anabolic. Okay, what's happening in the anabolic or anabolism? All right, in anabolic process, the two chemicals are combined together and they are forming another product. Like two components are forming together, either they are inorganic or organic, and they are forming another new product. All right, so that process is known as anabolism. So let me write the equation here. Like in this process, two compounds are combined together and they are forming another product. So this process is known as anabolism. Alright, in which new product is formed, the process is known as anabolism. Now we do have another process which is catabolism. Alright, or catabolic reaction. Catabolic. Alright, now what's happening in the catabolic reaction? Alright, now we have discussed about the anabolic, in which two compounds are combined together and they are forming a new product. Alright, in this catabolism, product will be break down into the components by what it is made up of. Alright, so basically this is the product, and this product will be break down into the components by what it is made up of. Like D is made up of E and F. So D is a product here, and product is break down into the simple components. Alright, so this process is known as catabolism. Alright, catabolism. So we have discussed about the two processes which are involved in the metabolism. Alright, so the first one is anabolism, in which two compounds or two simple compounds are combined together and they are forming a new product, is anabolism. While on the other hand is catabolism, in which product is break down into the simple molecules. All right, so that is catabolism. Now we need to know that, is defecation an excretion process? No, not at all. Defecation is not an excretion. All right, this is just a removal of undigested particle. We know that now. Alright, so now wait, let me use another color. Alright, so for suppose this is a cell we do have. I should make a small one. This is a cell. Alright, now we know that for producing the energy, we know that all cells in our body needs energy for the survival. Alright, so for getting an energy, we are burning glucose. Like glucose is burned. Glucose is breakdown in our body or in our cells. So that is catabolism. Alright. In the presence of oxygen. We know that glucose is burned in our cell in the presence of oxygen. And then it is producing what? It is producing ATP, which is the currency of cell, energy currency of the cell. So it is adenosine triphosphate. It is having a nitrogen base which is adenine and 3 phosphate group. Alright, that's why it's not an adenosine triphosphate. Plus carbon dioxide is released. Alright, and we know that carbon dioxide is a metabolic waste. Alright, so let me write here, okay, with this color. So we know that carbon dioxide is what? It is a metabolic waste. Metabolic waste. So it is a metabolic waste which will be removed out from our body by the help of respiratory system. Alright, so let me write it down. Carbon dioxide removal from lungs called respiratory system. Alright, so let me write it down. Respiratory system. So removal of the carbon dioxide from our body is what we call the respiratory system. Alright, so this is respiratory system. So now when carbon dioxide will be removed out from our body. Alright, so let me make the earth here. So basically this is the earth we do have. Now I'm going to tell you about the global warming. Alright, this is the earth we do have. And we know that when the carbon dioxide amount will be increased in the earth, it will cause global warming. Alright, global warming. This would be known as global warming. And carbon dioxide, like when sun light will be coming, wait, it's not visible, let me use another color. Alright, so this is the sun we do have. This is the sun. When sun breezes will be coming to the earth. Alright, and now we know that carbon dioxide will go up and it will form a layer. Alright, this would be the layer of the CO2, which is the carbon dioxide. Alright, CO2, CO2. We know that layer will be formed. Alright, so here the layer will be formed, and when sunlight will be coming to the earth, it will reflect back, and then again it will reflect back from this layer. Alright, because we know that carbon dioxide will make a layer outside from our earth, so it will reflect back the sunlight. It will not allow back sunlight to go again. Alright, so this is how global warming happens. Alright, so for reducing the global warming, we do have, wait, let me make it here, we do have trees. Alright, this is the tree which will use this carbon dioxide and will produce the food. For suppose this is an apple which will give this apple to us, and we know that in this apple we have glucose. Alright, so in this condition the trees are the gods, all right, because they are utilizing our waste product, that is carbon dioxide. They are utilizing that waste product and they are forming the glucose. Then they are forming the apples in the form of glucose, and we are again taking that glucose, all right. So in this case, trees are the gods, all right. So now finally we are going towards our topic, that is the production of urea. This was all just because of making you people understand about this. This is a catabolism reaction, all right. So now we are going towards the production of urea, how urea is produced, all right. So let me write it down here. Production of urea. So now we are going to talk about the production of urea. Alright, so how urea is produced in our body. So wait, let me make the cell. So for suppose this is our cell. Alright, this is the cell. And we know that in the cell what things we do have, what organelles we do have. Alright, so in cell we do have biomolecules as well. So let me write here the biomolecules with this color. Alright, we do have biomolecules which are present in the cells. Biomolecules. And what those biomolecules are basically, the first one is protein. We know that in our cell protein is there. Alright. The second one, lipids, as we are eating fats, alright. In that fats we do have glycerol and fatty acids, those are lipids, alright. The third is carbohydrates, alright. Carbohydrates. And the last biomolecules are nucleic acids. Nucleic acids, alright. In nucleic acid we do have two things. We do have. The first one is DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, and the second one is RNA, ribonucleic acid. Alright, we do have two types of nucleic acid. The first one is DNA and the second one is RNA. Alright, so now in the cell we do have some organelles. Alright, I'm going to make those organelles basically. I should change the color now. I'm going with white. Alright, so we do have mitochondria in our cell, which is the house of energy currency, like ATP is formed in the mitochondria, alright. Then we do have glucose, which is what? Which is the carbohydrates, alright. This is the carbohydrates. Alright. So now we have lipids too, alright. Let me write it down here. This we have lipids, alright. And the most important thing, we do have enzymes too. Enzymes, which are made up of what? Which are made up of proteins, alright. And another important thing, we do have cell membrane. We do have cell membrane, which is made up of what? Which is made up of lipids plus protein. It is biphospholipid layer, alright. Phospholipid. Phospholipids. Alright, so these are the basic organelles of the cell. So now we need to know that how urea is produced. Alright, so now we know that in our cell protein is there. Alright, and we know that proteins are made up of what? Proteins are made up of amino acids. So basically this is one amino acid, this is another amino acid, this is another, this is another. Basically protein is what? Protein is the chain of amino acid which are combined together by the peptide bonds. All right, so basically, for suppose if this is a old protein we do have, this is old protein, now we need to break it down. All right, we need to break it down, this old protein, and these are amino acids we do have. Wait, let me change the color. This is fine. This is amino acid, because we know that proteins are made up of chain of the amino acid which are combined together by the peptide bonds. All right, so now the bond will be breaking down. All right, so for suppose if down, this is broken down, again this is broken down, so now we have a single amino acids. These amino acids are broken down. All right, so let me make here a single amino acid structure so that it can be clear to you. So this is one amino acid which we have taken from this. All right, this is the amino acid we do have. All right, so what's the structure of amino acid? So let me make here. All right, in the middle we do have C, then here on the left hand side we do have carboxylic group. All right, this is the carboxylic group. So let me write it down here. Carboxylic group. Alright, this is the carboxylic group we have. On the right hand side, we do have amino group. Alright, this is NH2, nitrogen and hydrogen. Alright, so this is amino group. Amino group. This is the amino group we do have. Then again, on the upper side, we do have hydrogen. One hydrogen. Now we know that we do have different types of amino acids. All right, so in all amino acids this structure is the same. Like in the mid we do have carbon, then on the right hand side we do have amino group, on the left hand side we do have carboxylic group, on the upper side we do have hydrogen. This is the basic structure of amino acid. Now we do have different amino acids. All right, so the difference in the amino acids is just because of this R. Here we have R, which can be any group, like it can be methylene 2 CH3, it can be any other two. So just because of this R we do have different types of amino acids. All right, so now this amino acid is where? It is in the liver. All right, because we know that liver is the main metabolic organ. All right, we do have liver which is the bilobed structure. All right, this is a liver which is a bilobed structure. All right, now we have inside it, what do we have? We have amino acid. All right, COH. So I'm making the structure of amino acid again. NH2 on the upper side, hydrogen, on the downside, radical. All right, so now what will be happen? All right, this we have to cut. Like I should make this with another color so that it can be visible to you. So I'll cut this. So the process of cutting this amino group is known as deamination. All right, so here I am writing deamination. The process of cutting this amino group from the amino acid is known as deamination. All right, so now this amino group plus we do have hydrogen here. All right, would be combined together and they would go, not this hydrogen, but we do have carbon dioxide here. All right, carbon dioxide here will be combined together and they'll go to this cycle. So basically this is known as urea cycle. By what urea will be formed? All right, and we do have formula of urea which is NH2CONH2. So we can also write it down like C H4, because two hydrogen, so that would be 4 hydrogens. Then again we do have 2 nitrogens, and again 1 oxygen. So here nitrogen group is present. So we know that the compound which is having nitrogen in it is metabolic waste. All right, nitrogenous piece. All right, so this is basically anabolic reaction, because in which urea is formed by combining amino group and carbon dioxide. So two molecules or two compounds are combined together and they are forming a new product, which is urea. So this is anabolic reaction. All right, and this is happening where? In the cell of the liver, and the liver cell is known as hepatocyte. Hepatocytes, which are the cells of the liver.